So you did it. You hit your goal, you lost the weight, you built some muscle, and you got in shape. But then life showed up. Now it feels like you're losing ground again. If you've never been there or you're worried about it might happen, this video is for you. Think about it. Not just next week, but 6 months from now. Here's what I see all the time. A guy works really hard, drops the weight, gets fit, feels awesome. But then right on cue, Murphy's Law strikes again. The work gets crazy or his schedules go wild. Maybe he gets hurt or just feels burnt out. And now just like that, things start slipping back. Nobody really talks about this. The second time around is tougher because you know what it felt like to be at your best. I mean, you've seen it. Losing it stings in a totally different way than if you never had it. A few months from now, if you don't have a plan that fits your real life, you can end up worse off than before. Not just physically, but also mentally. You start carrying around the feeling of, I did it once and I lost it. That's the trap so many people fall into. Not because of laziness, not because you don't care. It's just nobody ever gives you a plan that what comes after you reach your goal. Let me pause for a second. I'm not here to flex my certification. That's not what this is all about. I lost 50 pounds. Maybe you heard of that. But what I don't talk about much is what happened after I lost 50 pounds. I had 2 shoulder surgeries. I hurt my back. I wrapped up a 15 military run. I ended up being a single dad with 3 boys. Life hit me hard more than once. And every time I either had a plan that worked or it didn't. That's why I could talk about this. Not because I found the secret to changing, but because I figured out how to keep what I work for. Here's what most people try when they hit their goal. I've seen it and I've done it myself. You stick to the same program and it makes sense, right? If it worked, why change it? And for a bit, that's fine. But here's the catch. That program is built for big changes. It asks a lot of you. When life gets busy and you can't give as much time or energy, you start missing workouts or giving up. And then you blame yourself, but it's not your fault. The plan just wasn't made for this phase. So you take a break and you tell yourself, I'll restart. I've been there. I'll just pause for a couple weeks, but coming back never feels easy. 2 weeks turns into 6 weeks. 6 weeks turns into 3 months. And when you do come back, it feels like you're starting over. The gap between where you were and where you are now feels huge. So you don't push as hard and it gets even harder to close the gap. You try to just be consistent with no real plan. You keep going to the gym, but don't track anything. You don't push yourself. At least you're showing up, right? But without a plan, things start to slide. You put in the time, but nothing really changes. That's how people end up looking the same year after year, even though they're working hard. Look, I know you are good people with good intentions. You worked hard to get here, but none of these are real plans for the long term. That's the problem. Hey, if any of this sounds like you, tell me below what happened after you hit your goal, or what are you doing right now to hold on to your progress? I read all my comments. Here's what I want you to think about differently. Almost every fitness thing out there is about getting to your goal, whether it's getting lean, strong, or crossing the finish line. That's cool. Goals matter, but nobody tells you this. Most of your fitness life isn't about transforming. It's about keeping what you got. Think about it. It might take a year or 2 to get in shape, but then you have to spend the next 20, 30, maybe 40 years trying to hold on to it. That's the real challenge, but there's no program for that. Nobody's selling a 40-year maintenance plan. There's no 12-week keep it up challenge, but it's real. If your plan only works when you're super motivated or life is easy or your schedule is perfect, it's not really a plan. It's just a window of time. Here's the key. You don't need a program that only works when life is perfect. You need a program that keeps you going when life falls apart. So stop asking what's the best program and start asking what's the least I can do and still stay in the game. That's your floor, not your ceiling, your floor. Because when life gets hard, most people stop completely, and that's when things start to slide fast. But if you know what's the lowest amount of effort that still keeps you moving, you never have to start over. You just pick up where you left off. So here's what to actually do. Figure out your floor. What's your minimum that's still good enough? For me, it's 4 workouts a week. Each one is 45 to 60 minutes each. I start with some strength work, then some conditioning. That's my floor. When I have time in my schedule, I can train more and I add a 5th workout. But when things get crazy and Murphy's Law happens, I drop to my floor. 4 workouts, 45 minutes each. I don't quit and I stay in the game. Now, I'm not making big gains this week, but I'm also not losing ground either. And mentally, I never feel like I gave up because I didn't. So here's your one thing to do in the next 24 hours. Write down your floor, not your dream schedule. What's your minimum? What's the least you need to do to keep moving forward? Is it 2 days, 3 days, 30 minutes? Write it down. That's what you fall back on when life gets crazy. Most people have a ceiling, not a floor. They go all out or they do nothing. And that nothing is what really sets them back. Is it worth it? Now you might be thinking, isn't this kind of giving up? Like making a backup plan for when I slack off? I used to think the same thing too, but here's the truth. The people who stay fit in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond, they're not working harder than you. They just know their floor and they never go under it. The ones who starting over at 45 and 55, most of them got fit once, hit the goal, but they never set a floor. When life got tough, everything dropped. And even if you don't do this, you get stuck on a roller coaster, going up and down, starting over every couple of years. If you do what I'm telling you in this video, all it takes is being honest with yourself about what your minimum looks like. That's the whole investment. On the other side, 35 years from now, you're still going. Not perfect, not always crushing it, but you're still in the game. You're still the person who you work so hard to become. And that sticks because you built the floor. Build your floor and protect it. When life happens, and it always does, you don't have to quit. You just do the minimum and keep moving. That's how you stay fit for life. Let's do this.